let you go. I hit my demon mode. Found out the way that I gon' take your soul. You'll never see me coming tucked under the bed. I'll creep inside your head and never let you go. I hit my demon mode.
Lately I've been talking with a ghost. He tells me all the places I should go. He makes me paint my face so that I know that I'm not the only person in my soul. He tells me that a monster lives inside, and when he gets too angry I should hide. Cause if I were to try to pick a fight, I would barely stand a chance and I'd die. Two-Face called me a Harvey, never know when it could change. Tried to talk to my reflection, but he said he wants my name. Wake up the beast, bury the bones, enjoy the feast, take all control when I give you my soul. Devil's on my shoulder, got an aching down my spine. Feels like chains are getting heavy, but I don't know what's your mind. Can you save me? Am I lost? Is it time to take me from all of these thoughts? Two-Face called me a Harvey, never know when it could change. Tried to talk to my reflection, but he said he wants my name. Wake up the beast, bury the bones, enjoy the feast, take all control when I give you my soul. Bury the bones, enjoy the feast, take all control. Wake up the beast, bury the bones. wasting my breath on you. Feels like my words are never getting through, yeah. Oh, I've never said I hate you to someone so much before. I'm lightheaded when we talk and then you shut the door. Goddamn, like what are we still talking for, yeah. I really hope you don't see tomorrow. I try to make nice with you, 'cause all you ever do is try to fuck up my day. And you are successful, but I know the truth. No, you don't have anything better to do. Everything you ever loved is trying to escape you. So why would I want anything to do with you? Fuck you.
I didn't mean for that to be the song, but I didn't know that was playing. Just straight up fuck you. But alright. Making sure everything's level. That should be fine. Alright. I meant to change the thumbnail. I forgot. God damn it. Where is my live thing? There it is. I don't have like a funny thing to have for the thumbnail for that, so it's just gonna be my regular live thumbnail. There we go. Had all this time off stream to prepare, and I didn't do all this correctly. Okay. Share, copy, do a quick post. That post, cool. Alrighty, let me just make sure everything's going through. Yeah, cool. Gonna be behind, still working on fixing a lot of that stuff. It is what it is. My bottle is blocking the chat. There we go. I'm gonna pull up the train just to have that as a background thing. Train. Boom, POV, train. Hold on. Can you tell that I do not stream often? Because I don't have a lot of this stuff set up properly. That should be fine. Alert box. That's there, that's there. Oh, whoops. I want that there. Cool. No, let me change one more thing. Move this over here.
I heard you like the bad ones.
And there we go. Now everything should be fine. Oh, I'm not using the right microphone. Audio input. Device.
That should be better now. That should be good now. Yes, cool. All right, we're not super behind actually on the stream. Just a little bit. But we should be good. All right, cool. We are so back, sort of. I think the last time I streamed was like 3 months ago. A lot's been happening. A lot we need to catch up on. First of all, let me know how y'all are doing. Let me know if you're here. Let me know what you want to talk about. If you've never been privy to any of my live streams before, there is no schedule. There is no nothing. There's just... I'll either have something up in the background. I might pull up either some Yu-Gi-Oh! Or something later to play. Depends on how this goes. Depends on what all gets talked about. These streams can be anywhere from an hour and a half to either 3 hours. It depends on what happens or how tired I get. If anything's too loud or too quiet, let me know. I'll fix it. I have like the music on like the quietest volume, so I might turn it up just a little bit. It shouldn't be too bad. But yeah, all right. I'm trying to think what all I talked about live last time. I think last time I was live was when I finished Hunter x Hunter, which now it's been a while. I mean, fairly recently, the last episode of that came out on the channel. I mean, it's been a couple weeks, but it's, you know, it's still fairly recent. It came out a couple weeks for the YouTube crowd, but for me, I finished that show like well over 3 months ago. But my current big, long show pause that I'm doing is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Which has been taking up the bulk of my time now. but it's been fun. I'm at a place now with it where like I am sort of just chilling. I'm not like, because obviously, I mean, I kind of want to rush through it, but I mean, not that I want to rush through it, but just I'll talk more about that later if we get on that topic. But you know, I'm having a fun time with it. But other than that though, like it's been a little crazy just because, I mean, not really crazy, but I mean, I've dedicated so much time just to that right now that a lot of the other videos have taken a backseat. Like in complete transparency, the only other videos that are scheduled for like the next several months are all just JoJo reactions, just because, I mean, my plan is to get through like up to part 5, and then once I'm done with part 5, I'm gonna take a break for a little bit from it before I do part 6, just because you know, because once I finish part 6, I'm gonna be caught up with the anime, so it's just like, well, I might as well savor that for a little while. I mean, I kind of need to, just because, you know, I don't want all my videos to just be JoJo's for a while. I mean, even though it's gonna be, there's not much I can do about that right now. I mean, this right now is like the most break I've taken in terms of doing stuff for the channel, is doing a stream. But, you know, we have fun times with our streams, whenever we do have them. Though, of course, they end up being few and farther between. Just because, again, like, my schedule just normally ends up being, like, wake up, record, edit, do other stuff, finish the day, go to bed, and then, you know, we just keep going. But you know, this weekend at least, I can sort of chill for a little bit just because I reached the end of part 4 of JoJo, so I'm going to take my time, like, editing the last couple episodes of that, and then come Monday, we'll get back into the saddle. But I don't like this is in, like, the city. Let's go to, like, let's get some more forestry. Get out in the country. There we go. But yeah, it's been something. I mean, it doesn't sound like it's a lot, but it's been a lot. Just because I've become like a well-oiled machine with how I do my videos now, to where it's just like I churn them out just one after the other. Though obviously it doesn't come across on the channel itself just because I release like one video a day, but in the one video a day that comes out, like 3 or 4 other ones are uploaded on the same day. I mean, they don't come out the same day, but you know, they're scheduled. Like I have, thanks to JoJo's, I have videos scheduled all the way to December now. I've done the math. It's like with how much I have left of JoJo's, it's likely that with the remainders of part 5 and 6, it'll take me all the way to like probably like February of next year with just those. So but despite it all, I'm having a good time with it. it does kind of suck a little bit, just because like there's some part of my brain that's just like, I shouldn't be doing this right now. I should be editing and doing that, but the brain needs breaks, especially after what I've just seen in the show. I'm just like, I need a minute to gather myself. And well, I mean, I didn't really feel like fully editing today anyway, just because I kind of had like, I don't want to say like an adrenaline release, but just kind of like a relaxer put on me. Just like I finished another part of JoJo's, so like I can relax for a little bit. But you know, that's just how it's been though. Like really since we did Mushoku Tensei, I would say we've been on like a pretty good schedule. Well, I can't say a good schedule, but it's been my schedule of just how I've chosen to do things. But yeah, overall though, I mean, obviously I won't get fully into like, you know, the specifics of what goes on in JoJo's. Just one, because I don't want to spoil it for anybody potentially, and two, because no one asked. Unless someone asks, then I'll talk specifics. But for now, it's just sort of like we'll chill, have a good time, maybe talk about stuff that isn't JoJo related, just because it's been a lot of that. You know, I've been having some fun times with my friends lately, just, you know, whenever I see them, just catching up on just like, yeah, so this is what I've seen in JoJo's now. It's like every time I see them, it's always just new stuff, and yeah, which is why I am trying to savor all that. You know, trying not to bum rush through it, even though, I started in July with JoJo's, so now it's been a little over 2 months and I've done 4 parts. Like, I could have afforded to chill a little bit more, but, you know, I can't chill. When I'm in the saddle, we're riding.
You don't choose to be evil. You are. Do you know why? There is a darkness in all of us,
I don't know what this music is. It's just like a royalty-free, like,
and we think of ourselves,
music playlist.
but we've all hurt others.
I don't need like a monologue, just give me music. I always try to find these like copyright free ones, but then some of them end up still just copywriting me. Yeah, that's nicer. There we go. Chill vibes. But it's funny. I got like the inspiration for having like the stream like this, where it's, you know, just the train. From a YouTuber called NBT. He does like Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. But whenever he has his segments where he just talks, like on his live streams, he just goes to this, which, you know, it makes sense because it gives me something to look at, and also gives you something to look at other than just my face or just like a game or something. Which, depending on what all happens, we might play a game in a little bit. I always say that, but then I never end up actually playing a game. But we'll see. Hey, yo. Is that Golden Freddy? Every time I see, like, the Golden Freddy, I always see, like, the meme of, like, Markiplier in the nurse home in a few years be like, I saw Golden Freddy! You can't fool me, I saw him. Funny stuff. I'm trying to get rid of this, like, stupid red chat box thing. TWD Season 3 when? Oh, the what? Oh. Are you talking about like the Telltale Walking Dead game? I in truth, I have no idea when I'll ever be coming back to that, if ever. I mean, definitely at some point. I don't know. I mean, I said it when I watched it at the time, or when I played it, not watched it. Just like I don't know. Where it left off was fine. I mean, I always talk about like I'm not a biggest fan of like the season 3 of the game. It's I mainly just did it for seasons 1 and 2. But I mean, I have the game, so it's like I might as well play them. But I don't know. I'm very much not on the game train right now with stuff. You know, which I do kind of miss, because I'm definitely, once I finish JoJo's, I'm gonna get more on a schedule of like, you know, I'll watch a show, play a game, watch a show, play a game. It's just my brain is so random gameplay about anything. This is the closest you'll get to Subway Surfers then. But I mean, if you've seen any of my other live streams, I don't really play games. The most I'll ever do is like maybe play Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel in the background, or play Solitaire. But I don't know. I'm not like in the game mood right now. Like maybe in a bit. You know, I've been kind of grinding Helldivers lately, just because the new update. Though I haven't played the new update yet. It's just mainly been kind of, because me and my friends kind of got back into playing it again, just on that sample grind. But for the channel, like, because I haven't posted damn near anything. Well, I mean, I've done a few Master Duel videos here and there this year, but like I haven't done any like gaming sessions with the boys that I've recorded. They always meme like whenever I'm like in call with them, just like, oh, are you gonna stream this one? It's like, I don't maybe at some point just like do one-off stuff, but I don't know. Like last year I did a lot of like the games that I wanted to play on the channel. Like I played seasons 1 and 2 of the Telltale Walking Dead. I played God of War 2018, played Subnautica. That's a whole different meme too, but I don't know. Well, to be fair, like there's not really been anything that I've wanted to play. Really, like I have my games that I play in my spare time, like, you know, again, Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, Helldivers, Deep Rock Galactic, that are just sort of just my, I guess, comfort, just chill games. I played the finals a lot with my friends. Battlefield every once in a while, but TF2, yeah. A game that is held together by the single PNG of a coconut. Or something like that, whatever, but return to mobile. But I mean, games are also just like I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, gaming's dead. Like, gaming's not dead. Like, gaming has been more alive now than it's ever been. But I don't know. There just hasn't been too many games that have caught my attention to where I'm like, one where I've been like, oh, I want to get it and play it just either on my own, but even less so to play for the channel. The last time I ever did that, where I got a game on release and played it for the channel, was for Jedi Survivor. Which, I mean, I'll still do that for the third Jedi game whenever that comes out. I'll definitely play that on the channel. Hell, I might stream it. I don't know. We'll see how the future holds, but yeah. I mean, there's that Jurassic Park like survival game, like story survival or whatever it's gonna be. That seems interesting just because I'm a Jurassic Park fan, so I might watch that or might play that. Depends though, unless it's like a game that's, you know, fucking $80 on release, which it's gonna be, because that's just where we are nowadays. But other than that, though, yeah, damn near, we probably will get through the rest of this year before I make, like, any other gaming video. Like, I want to play some, like, Master Duel and stuff, obviously, just because that's still the game I've been playing the most consistently, just because, I don't know, that's a game where it's like I don't really have to commit hours at a time to it. Heritage for the future. I've been getting ads for that. Or not ads, but like, you know, memes for that. Because, yeah, I mean, I try to avoid those, though, just because, you know, I haven't seen all of JoJo's yet. So, or, well, you know, all that's currently out for the anime. So I just, you know, I'm trying to avoid that stuff, but... I don't know. I've never really been that much of a gamer anyway. It's like I have my games that I obviously love, but I never, you know, it takes a lot. This man and his trains. I'm trying to fix this stupid chat box. I like got a new like thing for this, but I hate how it looks. Properties. Train destination. I have no idea. This is in that whatever that says, Switzerland, somewhere in Switzerland. Layout, no, not editor. Oh, my whole damn setup just went crazy. Yeah, I've finished today. I finished Diamond is Unbreakable. I have officially finished part 4. And part 5 is around the corner for me. The episodes haven't come out on Patreon yet, just because, again, I literally did it today, so I haven't had the time to edit those yet. Well, I mean, started editing them, got tired, and now we're here, where I'm not really editing anything. I could probably, like, edit in the background. Whoa. I could probably edit in the background of these streams, but eh. Don't really feel like it. Just because obviously I don't want to like have my voice being doubled or whatever. Transform, edit, transform, whatever. But yeah, other than that, you know, yeah. Just because I'm trying to give my brain like a reset before like I start anything else. Well, I mean, either way, like whether I went live today or not, I was gonna take a breather anyway from editing and watching JoJo stuff, just because, again, like I've been doing that nonstop for several months at this point, so it's just like, let me breathe. Will you do a JoJo themed tier list once you finish JoJo? I made jokes with some of my fellow JoJo fan friends where I was just like, you know, once I'm finally done with everything, you know, we'll get together and do like either a JoJo's tier list or something, or just, I plan at the very end, depending on how it goes with scheduling and all that, at the very end, like once I get through part 6, to get together the people who I know are JoJo fans and have like kind of a podcast type thing and talk about it and just debrief. I planned to do that with Attack on Titan when I finished it way back when, but you know, scheduling and stuff didn't work out. But I'll definitely maybe do some JoJo tier list stuff at some point. I think that'd be funny. But in terms of the schedule, obviously it's like get through parts, just get through like all that's currently out for it, do a Q&A at the very end, and then see where we go from there. I have some funny ideas for JoJo videos though, like obviously once I'm done. Like a lot of it is stuff that I've been inspired by, like some other stuff. Like the Anime Man made a video like years ago in which it was just like, guess the JoJo character or stand based off of the pose, and like he does the pose. I kind of want to do something similar to that. Well, I say similar, I kind of want to do exactly the same thing, but it's just me and my friends doing that. That'd be funny. I don't know. Like Attack on Titan, JoJo's, by the end of it, is going to be one where I'm definitely going to make a lot of videos after the fact talking about it. Just because, I don't know. I mean, it's a long fucking show. One that obviously isn't even fully adapted, and obviously the manga isn't done yet either. But you know, it's been a lot to talk about. You know, every time I record for that show, it always ends up like, there's times where I'll record and it'll be short sessions, and there's times where I'll record and it'll be very long sessions. You know, that's kind of just the back and forth. You know, like like off camera and off everything, like I have so many nights where I'm with my friends and I just like, it's basically a podcast where I'm talking about them, though a lot of it ends up just being me talking about what I've just watched and them laughing at me because they've seen more than I have. But yeah, there's a lot cooking. But I mean, in truth, like by the time I finish JoJo's, I mean, I looked at like the schedule for it. It's like it'll likely be probably close to late October when I at least finish recording all of them. So like in truth, by the time I finish it and then like do a bunch of the other videos that I plan to do after, those videos will all probably come out before all the videos on YouTube come out for the reactions. Which, yeah, it's just how I does it. That's how I does it. That is great English. But And part 7 is around the corner. Yeah, that was another big reason why I started it, because I mean, JoJo's has always been one of those ones that I've meant to watch for years, just because one, like, my best friends, like a lot of my best friends are fans of it. Like it was a combination of a couple things. Like, one of it was that, like, I heard that part 7 was being adapted, and I was just like, oh, I should finally, like, jump on it and watch it. I have heard the same thing, that it's the best part, so we'll see. But yeah, it's just like, oh yeah, part 7's being adapted, so I was like, okay, sure, I'll finally jump on it and react to it on the channel, just because, yeah. And then the other tipping point was my friend was showing it to his girlfriend, and I just, you know, I felt the FOMO kicking in, just like, no, I don't want to be left behind. Well, I mean, it's like, obviously I'm gonna be more behind than they are, just because I do videos on it. Because I think they're at part 6, whereas, you know, I just finished part 4, so it's like I'm pretty far behind them still. But, you know, it's like, I'm fine with being behind. I just don't want to be left out of the conversation. But, you know, it's funny just because, like, I have what I've seen of the show up till now. His girlfriend has seen, obviously, what she's seen of the show, which will be, like, the anime. And then my friend has seen, like, all of the manga. So, you know, it's like 3 different perspectives on the show. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, though. I mean, it's gonna, I mean, it always sucks when, like, I jump into a show that I know isn't finished. And it's even worse, you know, it's a show that I know the manga isn't even finished. But, you know, it's fine. Just that's why I'm definitely gonna take a break after I finish part 5. Just because, again, like, once I finish part 6, it's like, well, now I'm with all the other anime-only fans. Anime-only fans. Gotta put a space in between that word. Because, like, I mean, part 7 will probably come out next year. Likely. I mean, a lot of it, because I think it was this year it was announced, right? Either that or late. I swear it's been in the talk for, like, a couple years now. I don't know. I don't know anything about it. That's just my thing. It's like, I know when things are announced and a rough estimate of when they might come out. I don't know anything about them. That was the whole reason I jumped on ReZero as well. It's just like, oh, in October, season 3 is going to come out, so I'll watch seasons 1 and 2, and then I did that. And now season 4 of that's coming out, and the same thing happened with Mushoku Tensei. Part 8 ran for more than 10 years, yeah. I mean, they're up to part 9 in the manga now, which, I mean, I've talked with my friend about, just like, does Araki plan at potentially stopping at, like, part 10? I feel like that should be fine. But then again, I don't know what the story is right now in the manga. Because, like, Araki's, he's old, man. You know, that's scary. That manga's been going since, like, the 80s. Which, I mean, it's great that it's still going and that it's this popular and it's going strong, but, you know, it's one of those cases, you know. Same thing with, like, One Piece and all that, you know, especially since, you know, Akira Toriyama passed away, and it's like, you just never know, man. It's like, we'll never know truly what all that man was cooking in his mind. Like, you know, I'm sure, I mean, you know, Toriyama passed some stuff off to, like, Toyotaro and, like, some of his other, you know, artists and editors and stuff, but we'll never know truly what he had envisioned for, like, the end of Dragon Ball Super or, like, any of that stuff. You know? Same thing with, you know, the Berserk author, you know? It's like these authors that make just such these absolute cornerstones of the industry. You know, these massive mangas and series that just have such a critical acclaim and following, they die before it's ever even done. And it's like, well, damn. It's like, though there's obviously people who will pick up the work and finish it in their place, you know, there's always that part that's like, is it really the same, though? Would it have been the same if they were allowed to? That's why, like, especially now that I've watched all of Hunter x Hunter as well. It's like, man, finish your goddamn story, dude. You're not gonna live forever. And hell, before you even die, you know, like, you're gonna start forgetting things. Like, God forbid, though, you get, like, dementia or Alzheimer's or any of that kind of stuff, in which it's like, you're still alive, but, like, you're never gonna be able to finish your work now. Or Vagabond, and yeah, just so many of those stories, you know. It's tragic. Like, I get in the whole manga anime industry, that's kind of the whole point, is to make, like, these longer stories, because, you know, that brings in the moolah. A lot of money, a lot of stuff made off of that. That's why, honestly, Dragon Ball truly never really ended. And probably never will. But, I mean, and to be fair, like I've talked about, like, that's another reason why I haven't really... Just, yeah. That's why I haven't really jumped into the Hunter x Hunter manga after finishing the anime, because I'm just like, where the anime leaves off is fine for now. You know, if they decide to do more of the anime someday, then I'll just wait till that happens. For now, like, I'm not going to jump into it to just, at most, read another 100 chapters just to be cliffhangered again. At least where the anime leaves off, it's like, cool, I'm excited to see more, but also that felt fulfilling. So, which I imagine that'll probably happen with JoJo's as well, because, I mean, I don't know where part 6 is going to end, because I have so little knowledge of it. Like, most of my knowledge of JoJo's was in, like, the first 3 parts. Like, parts 4, 5, and 6. Like, I knew some stuff in part 4 as well, but, like, parts 5 and 6 I truly know little to nothing about. Like, I know a music theme in part 5, but I don't know anything else. And, like, I know who the JoJo is in it, but I don't know, like, anything else with, like, story or other characters or plots or anything, antagonists. So I'm excited to jump into that. But yeah, it's just, yeah. Again, like, coming back to the whole, like, mangakas thing, it's like, as it obviously very sad across the world, still sad every time I think about it, Toriyama's passing. But I feel like that should be a little bit of a wake-up call to other authors and mangakas, especially ones that have been making stories that have been going on damn near as long as Dragon Ball, like JoJo's and Hunter x Hunter, where it's just like, at least have people know what you have in mind. You know? That's why, like, at least One Piece, I'm glad that Oda, at least for a while, has known what his last panel is gonna be for One Piece, or at least he knows what the ending is gonna be, which is good, but I would still like it to be that, hey, I would still like it to be that he knows where it's ultimately going to be. Because I swear, like, for the last 5 years now, he said, like, oh yeah, it's 75% done. But I swear that number has gotten smaller and smaller as stuff goes on. But again, One Piece is another one where it's like, I know up to a certain point with story stuff, but yeah. It's sad, but I hope that, if for nothing else, they look at Toriyama's tragic and really soon passing and just be like, you know what, maybe we should be better prepared. Just, like, have some of the younger generation be ready to take up the mantle in case the worst happens. Because it's not even like Toriyama... You know, enough talking about death. Yeah, anyway. How much you see of JoJo's at this point? I just finished part 4 today. I've seen up to all of part 4. So I'm well over halfway in terms of the anime at this point, though I still got a good chunk to get through. Yeah, that's the like, it's the ending is still really fresh with me, what the D stands for. Yeah. But yeah, part 4. Overall I did like it. Like there hasn't been a part so far that I haven't overall enjoyed. But much like with part 3, I have a lot of the same gripes with this part as I think I did with part 3. Where, I mean, I won't get too in depth with it, just obviously in case anybody may be watching it, in case of spoilers or whatever. But broadly, it's just like, I feel like these parts don't need to be as long as they are. Like the final episode of that I recorded today, like a good chunk of it was me kind of talking about just like I don't know if I enjoyed it overall, but yeah, like that's how I felt at the end of part 3 as well, where it's just like it was so long, but also like it was a journey. Whereas like that's kind of my complaint with part 4 versus part 3, which I mean it's wrong to kind of compare them, but you know, because part 3, like I can look at how long it is and be like it's kind of justified in being that long because they're literally like going across the world. So like looking back on it, it's like, okay, like it literally was a journey, and by the end it's like, oh my god, we did it. Whereas with part 4, like I don't know, I was missing the kind of like adventure part of like the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Yeah, sure. It's, I mean, that's a personal thing for me. It's just because, I don't know, there's some episodes, like overall, I wouldn't like cut it down like an egregious amount. There was only maybe like 3 or 4 episodes in it where I was just like, okay, sure. But at the end of the day, I always like had a smile on my face by the end of every episode of it. Just like, you know, for nothing else, it was a fun time. It's just, again, part 4, I just felt like the bulk of the time I was waiting for like the point. Because again, like parts 1, 2, 3, you know, it's established pretty quickly what we're doing, like, you know, what the goal is, who we're gonna defeat. Whereas with part 4, I feel like, you know, you do get like right away like what they're doing, like what they're going after, but it's kind of just, it just feels like cleanup from part 3, and then once you get to what the main threat is, like halfway through, it's like, I don't know. It's hard to like put it into words. I mean, again, because I already kind of just talked about it, but it's just like, I don't know. The main antagonist of part 4, it's just because, I mean, it's kind of my fault just because I knew who the main antagonist of part 4 was going into it. So a lot of it was just me kind of waiting for him to be introduced. So like once he finally was introduced, I was like, okay, finally. I mean, yeah, that was my thing at the end of part 4, because I was like, coming off of part 3, you know, with introducing, you know, stands and all that stuff, you know, going into part 4, you know, and especially having seen all of part 4, it's like, okay, I feel like stands and all of that and like the power systems feel a lot more fleshed out now, you know, like if for nothing else, the stands in part 4 feel much more memorable and even more powerful than some of the ones in part 3. Like I found myself a lot of the times like looking at the charts, you know, for like the abilities in part 4 being like, okay, that makes sense. Like this one has more potential. This one has more power and speed. Whereas with part 3, a lot of the time I was finding myself being like, I feel like this one should have more speed or more potential. Like the graphs in this one made sense. Yeah, but again, just part 4, I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be one that I don't rewatch as often. Like, there's definitely parts of it that I enjoyed a lot. The second half, I definitely enjoyed way more than the first half. Yeah. Just, I will say, there is a specific plot point that was established and showed briefly in one episode. Was just, I'll keep it broad. You get a flashback for a character, and it's a character who he's sick in a car and his mom's driving and they're stuck in the snow, and in the flashbacks be like, oh, this is the person that inspired him, and that person ends up looking similar to a character later on, and it's like, that really caught my attention. Just like, oh my god, are we going to Attack on Titan this shit where the future is influencing the past? And that's what hooked my attention for the rest of the part going forward. And then the part just ends. So, like, that's kind of my gripe right now. Just like, so was that not meant to be what that was meant to be? Or was it just like a thing to be like, oh, or is it something that's going to come back later? It's obvious. I don't want you to answer this for me, because obviously I'm going to keep watching. If it's not answered, it's not answered. Yes. And again, I don't want anything told to me yet. But just as it is with the end of part 4, at the end of part 4, when a certain character suddenly has the ability to kind of time travel, that's what got my wheels turning again. Just like, okay, some stuff is starting to line up now. Are we going to time travel? And well, it didn't really go the way I thought it would, which again, it might just be me overthinking it, just because, I mean, to be fair, when it comes to anime and stories and all that stuff, I love time travel. I love when it's handled well, which, you know, few shows do really handle it well, but, you know, whether or not it was something, we'll see. Just because, again, I still have a good chunk of JoJo to get through. Maybe it'll come back. I don't know. But for right now, I am kind of disappointed with that. Just the fact that it didn't, at least in that part, it didn't resolve. But other than that, that part aside, I'll tell you when the episode comes out on YouTube. See you in December then, because that's when it's going to come out. But other than that, though, like, to get off of gripes, part 4, I feel like I keep saying it, but it's just like, it was fun. Like, it's one of those ones, though, where, like, going into part 5, I'm gonna look forward to having new characters, just because, unlike with part 3, where I really grew attached to a lot of the main characters and even a lot of the side characters that were introduced briefly. Hey, I appreciate it. The fun facts are cool, because stuff I just don't know. But I mean, I talk about it every time a part ends and begins. Like, my favorite part of JoJo's, I think, so far is when a part ends and a new part begins, because it's like, all right, here's the wrap up of the previous one, and then we go right into the next one, and then it's like the intrigue of like, all right, who's the JoJo? How are they connected? You know, what's going on? Who's the threat? You know, it's the mystery of it all. I have a lot of fun with that. Favorite part so far? Honestly, I would still say part 1, which I know that's kind of a controversial thing, but I mean, mainly it's part 1 just because I guess it's part 1 and by extension part 2, but mainly just part 1. I don't know. I think it's mainly because like it's so short. But I do like it because it's a short thing, but it's basically like a movie, and it's just like I don't know, it's like a dark drama, and like it handles itself almost like a stage play. And I don't know, it just hits on a lot of those themes that I really love in stories that I've grown to love. Just like these children who start with such like a naive perspective of the world, and then they grow. Well, I say they, mainly the main character grows, you know, both grows physically and grows mentally and matures to the point and becomes like this ideal of heroism. And a lot of why I like part one as well is just because of how it ends. It's just like, well, damn. It provides stakes for future characters, even though, like, for the future main characters of the story, where it's just like, oh damn, they potentially could bite the dust. And well, though that doesn't necessarily happen, at least, you know, in parts 2, 3, 4, you know, I don't know, just every time. And to be fair, I think the music in part 1 is still my favorite as well. Like, in terms of main character music themes, I think Jonathan's theme is still my favorite JoJo theme. Jotaro's is a very close second, and I feel like Giorno's will be my favorite just because I already really love Giorno's theme, but I have to put an asterisk on that just because I haven't seen part 5 yet. But just outside of it, I love Giorno's theme. But for now, in terms of just character, like, I hear Jonathan's theme, I'm just like, this is Jonathan. And because even inside Jonathan's like music theme, you can hear a lot of like Dio in it as well, but that's getting into music stuff. This ain't a music enthusiast reacts. Though I would definitely love to do that for JoJo themes at some point. I've already started doing it for the openings, which those videos will come out eventually. But yeah, I would say so far out of the 4 parts, it goes 1. Do I dare say it just goes 1, 2, 3, 4? I don't know. Like, a part of me, I don't know. Part 2 and 3 are kind of tied right now. Definitely when I initially finished part 3, I kind of held it lower than part 2, but I don't know. The more that I've kind of rewatched parts of part 3, especially just the ending fight with Dio, other than the end of the fight, which I don't really like that much. The fight itself before that is just iconic. And a lot of the other stuff, just the characters in it. I don't know. I also love part 2 though, just because of just like, it's a little longer than part 1, but it's not egregiously long. It's the exact opposite of 4-2. Yeah. I mean, you know, different tastes for different people. What about Joe Bros? What about it? I don't know, like, it's so fascinating watching JoJo's now as I am, you know, as opposed, like, if I had watched JoJo's like over 5 years ago, like, you know, back when I was just mainly watching stuff like Dragon Ball and My Hero Academia and not really anything else, you know, I probably would have looked at it way differently than I do now. Just because now I definitely have a lot more patience with certain stuff. And also just, I look at stories so differently with anime, just because, I mean, a lot of those shows that have changed my philosophy and just ideals have been shows like Fate Zero, which is my favorite show of all time, Attack on Titan, Frieren, Orb, Mushoku Tensei, Hunter x Hunter, like, these shows that I have watched on the channel. Vinland Saga, obviously, I haven't watched that on the channel, but that is one of my favorite shows. Yeah, I know it's old, but I mean, even still, like, what's cool about at least the anime of it is like you can tell it's an older story or just like it's an older manga just by the style and tone of it. But it's at the same time it kind of feels timeless. You know, like again, I'm watching these stories that were written so long ago in the year of our Lord 2025. And I'm enjoying it a lot. Favorite Jobro QBV? I need elaboration on that. I don't know what that means. I don't know. It's I lost my train of thought, ironically, as we were watching trains. I don't know. It's I mean, to be fair, just with how JoJo's does its stuff, it's like we're jumping through, you know, the ages. You know, we started the story in the fucking what 1800s, like 1880s, and then we jumped forward to like the 1930s and the 1980s, and then part 4 is 1990s, and I don't know where part 5 is gonna be. I would assume the 2000s at that point. Goku was fighting Frieza and the manga Jodo was fighting Dio. That's funny. That's wild. I mean, arguably equally as iconic. I don't know. It's been an interesting show just because it's weirdly been challenging. Like, not in terms of like mentally or just any of that kind of stuff or physically, just like, I don't know, it brings up certain like ideals and like character traits and themes that I wouldn't have expected with this show, because Hunter x Hunter Star Part 6.5, yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing when you look at the opening, you know, Sonochi no Sadame, you know, it's like it goes all the way from like part 6 back to part 1. So it's like, yeah, that story's been going for a while. Hunter x Hunter, yeah. And it's funny, you know, because I watched Hunter x Hunter before doing JoJo's, so I get that I've kind of been doing it backwards, but you know, it's funny like watching JoJo's and having those moments being like, oh, this reminds me of Hunter x Hunter, even though I know obviously, you know, Hunter x Hunter came out later. But funnily enough, like watching Hunter x Hunter has allowed me to understand parts of JoJo better. Just like understanding the power systems and like the characters and certain things. My favorite Jobro so far, I mean, of the 4 that we've had, I've seen Jonathan, Joseph, Jotaro, and Josuke. It's so much more simple than Nen, yeah. Yeah. My favorite one so far, I think it has to be Jonathan. Like, I love Jotaro in part 3 and even, you know, part 4 as well, but I don't know. Like, I talked about it with my friends, just like, Jotaro's cool, and I love, obviously, the voice actor. Oh, I see what you mean. Sorry, I'm not versed in the JoJo terminology. Right, characters that help. I don't know, like, I have a different character for, like, each part. Just because, I mean, well, we do have, like, different characters. I guess I'll just go through each part. Like, part 1, I would say definitely Speedwagon. It's kind of tied between Speedwagon and Zappelli. Like, Zappelli was so cool, and he was in it for so brief a time, but I loved him a lot. And then Speedwagon is just hilarious, and I love him. Part 2, it has to be Caesar. Like, Caesar's still up there with, like, one of my favorite characters, just in general, with the whole thing. Same thing as his grandfather, though, where it's just like, he was in it for, in the grand scheme of things, such a brief amount of time. But boy, did he make an impact. I think it's just also because, like, him and his grandfather basically have, like, the same thing, pretty much. Stroheim greater than Caesar. I mean, Stroheim's up there, too. For his music theme alone, as well, but... I mean, Stroheim's just funny. I mean, he was clutch in the end. But I grew really attached to Caesar. His death was just both badass and heartbreaking. Part 3... I loved Kakyoin. I probably should have said spoiler warning. Fuck it. If you're listening, whatever. Part 3, I'd say Kakyoin. Polnareff is... Yeah, it might be tied between those two. Like, see, with Polnareff, it's like... I don't think it was really till, like, the second half when I was just like... Yeah, he kind of has to be my favorite. Just because, like, he gets some of the most emotional stories in Part 3, and, like, he goes through it. Damn near dies every episode. He's basically Zorro, or just he goes off and walks on his own and discovers the whole plot. Oh, yeah, for the speed wagon. Yeah. I don't know. I loved a lot of the Stardust Crusader team. Like, even Avdol and Iggy. You know, like, Iggy came around in the end for me a little bit. But I would say probably it's tied between Kakyoin and Polnareff. Only thing with Kakyoin is just, like, you have the whole second half of Part 3 where Guy is barely in it. Then he comes back, loses a fight, comes back again, and then dies. So it's like, okay. I would have liked a little more justice for him in the second half, but it's fine. And then Part 4... I know he's an idiot, but I liked Okuyasu. It just made, like, his stand was, like, so powerful and low-key kind of broken, but just he was so stupid that he didn't really apply it that well a lot of the time. Oh, yeah, like, Rohan really came around for me. Like, I would have liked a little more with his character at the end. In terms of, like, you know, I mean, he kind of had that when, like, he said goodbye to Remy, but, you know, just, like, a little bit of that, like, male tsundere thing. Just like, okay, fine, I guess I'll miss you. But... I don't know, it's, like, he's definitely a character that grew on me. Just because, I mean, he got a good amount of, like, one-off stories that were fun. I don't know. It's just kind of interesting that he plays a pretty pivotal role in, like, trying to find Kira, but it's not till, like, the very end when he even, like, sees him. And even then, it's just kind of like he's already beaten at that point. But... yeah. You should watch his spin-off before Part 5. Which spin-off? Rohan's? Which character? 4 OVA episodes. If I find them, I will. I might just do it all in one episode. Thus spoke Rohan Kishibe. That's not on Crunchyroll, is it? No, it's not. Netflix exclusive, okay. I'll keep that in mind. If anything, I might make that a Patreon exclusive for those at least. If I remember, honestly, I'll write it down. I'll physically write it down just so I don't forget. But or if nothing else, I'll watch it in my own time. I don't know why I'm always weird with doing OVA stuff for the channel. Like every time I watch a show where there's like an OVA thing, I'm always just like, yeah, I'll just watch it in my own time. But then it ends up being like some pivotal shit. Like I did it for Mushoku Tensei Attack on Titan, where it's just like, I probably should have watched this on the channel, but you know what? Whatever. You've seen the AOT OVAs? Yes. I did not watch them on the channel. Looking back on it, obviously, I wish I did, but I did watch them in my own time. I mean, that's the case, though, where it's just like, I just watched OVA, 'cause it's like, oh, it's OVA stuff. It's probably just, you know, just some extra stuff, but when it's Attack on Titan, it's just like, no, every detail is something you should keep track of. Like with Gucci. Interesting. Yeah. I don't know. I'll definitely try to get that at least recorded this weekend then, just to have that. Just because I would like to go into Monday and just go right into part 5. But I am looking forward to part 5 just because my friend, who, you know, he's like the biggest JoJo fanboy I know. His favorite part is part 5, so he's, you know, been gassing it up a lot every time I see him, so I'll have fun doing that. The post-credit scene of the, yeah, I saw that in theaters, so yeah, I've seen the scene. If you want to skip it, no, I won't skip it. You know, I've made too many mistakes doing that on the channel where there's OVA stuff that I just choose not to, like, it's not that I don't watch it, it's just I don't watch it on the channel. Which, you know, either way, it will be watched, whether I do it for videos or not. But yeah, it's on another level, so I've heard. Again, if for nothing else, I'm looking forward to it mainly for the music theme of Giorno, just because that's a theme that has transcended the show that I've just heard so much, and I can't wait to hear it in the show itself. So yeah, that'll be that. But for now, I'm just gonna stew with part 4 while I have that still fresh in my brain. I mean, yeah, I'm sure part 4 will grow on me, given time, because like it happened with part 3. It's like when I initially finished it, I was just kind of like, I mean, it was good. I see why it's iconic as hell and why it's so beloved. But you know, I just kind of got to give it time before I'm just like, where do I hold it against everything else? Favorite stand so far? Again, that's another one where it kind of just depends on the part. I'll say my favorite stand in terms of design, I think, has to be the hand, Zahando. I don't know. I just like the clash of like the like yellow and white and blue colored And also just the power is just like, it's so much more broken than the show gives it credit for. In terms of actual ability, though, I don't know, something about the was it Centerfold from part 3, where like he jumps into reflections and stuff. For just the ability, that one's always stuck with me. I liked that. You know, just like playing with like it can only attack you in reflections, and like they get it to like shoot into people's eyeballs and stuff. That one's always stuck with me just because of the power. I like that one. I mean, you know, Zawater though, you know, for memes, and also like, I don't know, I like time stopping abilities. Those are always cool. So I haven't really been a fan of like Zawaterdo's design though. No, yeah. I mean, that's a big one why I like Zawaterdo as well. Just the fucking bass boosted as it stops time. The Hanged Man, yeah. The actual name of it, but I don't know, like I like the ability of the worlds, and obviously I love Dio, but I don't know, it always just looked goofy to me. Like, it looked like a scuba diver. Which, I mean, it's probably, like, based off of some other design that I'm just not privy to, but, I don't know, whenever it, like, showed up, it was just like, oh, like, the power is cool, I just think it looks kind of funny. It's supposed to also... Right, okay. I mean, to be fair, Dio was in the bottom of the ocean, so I guess that makes sense. Star Platinum. Again, like in part 4, you know, just having Star Platinum combined with the world, I think is really cool. Right. To breathe in, stop time. Got it. Like Star Platinum with the world was a cool combination whenever he used it. You know, when he used it, like the 3 or 4 times he actually did use it. Crazy Diamond had some awesome utility stuff that I thought was fascinating. I don't know, every time a stand's been introduced, at least for like main characters and stuff, I've always been a big fan of them. I would have liked to have seen Joseph use Hermit Purple a little more in part 4. But I get it that he's very old at that point. Yeah. I don't know, like, I always loved being introduced to a new stand, 'cause it's just like, oh, what's the power? And what if you had a stand? Man, can it be a stand that edits videos for me? God, that would be so nice. My stando, the computer, the editor, the no paid overtime. It would have to be something like that. Like, I don't care about having a combat stand. Like, just, I want a stand that can just do shit for me, like Star Platinum, where it's just like, bro, just, I need you to just do this, please. There's one that can technically do that. I'm sure. There's stands that can do anything. Yeah. Either that or one that just has a lot of range. So that way I can just, like, not move. Or, like, it's funny, but I would also like, you know, the car, like Wheel of Fortune. just so that I don't have to drive like I mean, I guess you are technically driving, but one where it's like that, where it's just like it can drive for me. I guess that's a Tesla, but I don't fuck with Teslas. I don't know, just anything that would just make life easier. This says something about personality, yeah. I don't know. I'm sure there's like some quiz online with like the Nen, like with the Nen one, where it's just like, this is your Stan personality test. But yeah. God, Star Platinum is so goated. Like, just the more I see of like that fucking Stan, the more I'm just like, why are you so broken? What the heck? Weird. Harvest would be insanely useful, yeah. Yeah, it's always those ones where it's just like in the show itself, it's not really that strong, but like its ability is pretty good and would be very applicable in real life. What the fuck? Stop texting me. I keep getting fucking spam texted. Go away. No, yeah, Harvest would be cool just because, like, go to the store, get stuff. No, yeah, like, I keep coming back to that. It's just like, no matter what gripes or anything I have with it, I'm having a fun time with the show, you know? Like, it does get a bit tedious, you know, going like, all right, recorded these 3, edited these 3, but that's just how I do my schedule. Like, it'll definitely be, I say, like, by the time I finish, like, part 6, like, I've told my friends, like, it'll likely end up being one of my favorite shows by the end of it. You know? I mean, if for nothing else, Stockholm Syndrome aside, you know? Like, it's been fascinating to watch, you know? Just because JoJo's has been a show that I've known of and known things about for many years at this point. So it's been fascinating finally watching the show. And then it's like, I see those moments that have been memed to holy hell. And now I look at them differently. And honestly, some of them I don't even find funny anymore. Have you heard the full versions of the JoJo openings? Yes. On Spotify, like, I have my JoJo's playlist, and every time I hear a new opening song, I immediately add it to the playlist, and I give it a listen. At some point, I mean, I've already started doing it, but I'm doing the Music Enthusiast reacts to those, obviously. Which, those are my full, I listen to the full song and break it down, which, those will be coming out steadily over time. I've only recorded the first 2 so far. Though, of course, I'll do that, and then I also have to do the endings and all that stuff, which is gonna take a while, but, you know, we'll get to that when we get to that. But, yes, I have heard the full versions of the songs. I dare say my favorite of the full versions so far might be Stand Proud. Either that or Crazy Noise Bizarre Town. Do you know big spoilers for the next parts? No, thankfully. That's what I've been saying. It's like the most I've known about JoJo's going into it was mainly in like parts 1 to 3. Like, the most I knew about part 4 going into it was that Kira was the main antagonist. It'll be on this channel. I've kind of neglected the music channel, though I might do some cross-pollination on that. Anyway, but yeah, part 4, all I knew about it was Kira, but I didn't know, obviously, fully, like, who he was or, like, what he was about. But, like, I didn't even know going to part 4 that Jotaro was still in it, you know? So a lot of that was a big surprise. Parts 5 and 6 are the ones that I truly know the least about. The most I know about part 5 is, again, Giorno's music theme, and that Giorno Giovanni is, or however you say his name, is the JoJo. And then part 6, I think, is Jolene, I think is her name. I don't know her last name. But that's all I know. It's like, I know who the JoJos are. I don't know anything else. And then don't even bother asking me if I know anything, like, beyond that. Like, parts 7, 8, and 9 in the manga, nothing. Because I've only known the anime stuff. But, yeah, so I'm going into parts 5 and 6 truly blind. Like, I've definitely seen maybe some, like, images and memes here and there on it, but it's not, like, anything that's stuck with me. Like, I know what Giorno looks like, you know, just because, obviously, I mean, he's on, like, the cover of stuff, so, you know, it's not that that's really a spoiler, but, you know, in terms of, like, stands, powers, antagonists, characters, nothing. So I'm really excited for that. Second rated manga, right? Of course. I mean, part 7, I'm truly excited for, just because I don't even know who the like, I don't know fuck all. I know it's called Steel Ball Run. I don't know what that means. Well, I mean, I also know that, like, the titles of parts 5 and 6, you know, part 5 is Golden Wind, part 6 is Stone Ocean. But again, I don't know what that means. It could be like the previous 2 ones where it's like, it's the name of the stand and also what they're doing or whatever. So, you know, I don't know. I don't want to know until I see it, obviously. Is there a rough estimate at all at when maybe part 7 will come out for the anime? Because I swear it's been like over a year now since it at least was announced that it's in production, which obviously I understand that takes a while. Just because, I mean, I was talking with my friend about just like, I would assume at the very least we get a trailer next year. This December? No shot. Really? That seems almost too soon. There hasn't even been like a trailer for it as far as I know. We'll get it. Okay. I eat my words. Obviously, even once I'm caught up with JoJo, I'm not going to watch the trailers for it. Because that's just how it goes with me. Like, I still get so many comments being like, dude, you got to watch the Mushoku Tensei Season 3 trailer. I'm like, no. All I need is a date for when it comes out. I don't need to watch it because I'm gonna watch it. I don't need motivation. You know, like, obviously I'm not gonna watch it now just because obviously I haven't seen everything yet. And also, I'm not gonna watch it anyway just because because of reactions and stuff. I want to know as little as possible. I'm also just like that in general for like movies and other shows and stuff that I watch in my own time. Just like, I don't want to watch trailers. You know, I mean, naturally, when you go to movies and stuff, it's like you see trailers and whatnot. But so it's like, if it catches my attention, I'll go see it. And I'll watch it. I'll seek it out. Though with anime especially, it's always a case where it's just like, if it's new, chances are I'm gonna watch it anyway. The stand names are much different for copyright. Yeah. I should have tried to have found an uncensored version from the beginning of JoJo's, just because that's what's been rough throughout a lot of these, like since part 2, just like all this stuff being so heavily censored. Like part 4 hasn't been as bad for that, but part 3 was kind of egregious a lot of the times with the censoring. But you know, it's one of those ones where just like I don't necessarily need to see a lot of the gore, but you know, it's just kind of annoying. But yeah, I get that the stand names, I get why the stand names are all messed up because of copyright, but I always understand, because like I hear what the characters say, and it's just like, oh, okay, the subtitles say Shining Diamond, but the stand name is Crazy Diamond. And, you know, like Red Hot Chili Peppers is just Chili Peppers. And, you know, it's like, yeah, I get it. So, yeah, I'll do my best to find one. Are you going to watch the new season of Spy Family? I'll definitely watch it. Probably not for the channel, but I will watch it. No, yeah. Like, I still get them. Like, because I hear what I always do that anyway. Like, when I hear how characters' names are pronounced and stuff, it's like I always go off what the characters say, not what the subtitles say, because I'm going to read it differently. Like, yeah, also with, like, you know, Killer Queen being Deadly Queen on the subtitles. It's like, you know, I get it. You know, sheer heart attack, bites the dust, all that stuff. You know, it doesn't... It was kind of infuriating the first couple times, but once I understood, like, oh, right, duh, copyright, you can't just have that. You know, like, I understand it, and it's fine. And to be fair, like, I'm not much of a huge music guy anyway, so a lot of the references kind of would just go over my head anyways. Yeah, I get it. They're just playing it safe, which is kind of annoying, but, you know, it is what it is. Because, like, that was a lot of, like, in Attack on Titan, you know, it's like how the character's name is spelled is not necessarily how it's pronounced, you know, like a lot of people will say Mikasa as Mikasa and stuff like that. You know, like Mikasa, yeah, Mikasa, you know, like Armin is Armin and all that stuff. I think I remember. Oh, yeah, I do remember that guy. See, that, like, I get it. That's one of those ones where I'm just like, it happened so quickly, so I just didn't really give a shit. Your next line, yeah. Like seeing the Billie Jean thing, I was just like, okay, that's funny. I mean, that was one where it's like I don't think his name was said, really, at least for what I remember. But there's so many, like, again, I know, like, base level music stuff, but like there's some stuff that obviously is gonna go way over my head, and where obviously people can point it out to me, like, when it happens, but you know, I try my best to catch them when it happens. type of music. And sure, like, there's a funny meme going around lately where it's just like my friends passing me the aux, little do they know, and it's just like him shuffling through a bunch of songs. And it's all like anime opening songs. That's basically like a lot of what I listen to is like either anime related music or soundtracks. I very rarely listen to like stuff that's just like, you know, pop songs or rock songs. Like if I am, it's like, you know, either classic rock or, you know, some fun like classical stuff. But a lot of the time my playlists, like I'll open up my Spotify right now just to have a look. Like like I have a JoJo's playlist on Spotify, I have a Date A Live playlist, I have a Freyren playlist, I have a Fate Zero playlist, I have a Hunter x Hunter playlist, Vinland Saga, My Hero Academia, I have a Night Drive playlist, which is just if I'm driving at night. A Never Skip playlist, where just you don't ever skip. I have an Attack on Titan playlist, I have a Fate in general playlist. I have an anime songs playlist, which is just any song from an anime that I liked, I just throw it in there. And then just like miscellaneous stuff from different artists that I've liked over the years. But those are more of the just like, what do I feel like listening to today? I'm in a Date A Live or a Vinland Saga mood. So I also made a Try Not to Cry playlist, which is kind of like a culmination of like a bunch of different songs. I don't know. I've always been just like a soundtrack guy more so than just like a typical music, like lyric person. Like when I have my series, which is like Music Enthusiast Reacts to stuff, it's like, it's always to that kind of stuff where, you know, that's the kind of stuff that gets me emotional. That's the kind of stuff that gets me up in the morning. That's the kind of stuff I love. You know, I think it all kind of started, you know, because... No, yeah. JoJo's endings, definitely. I'm always the guy that they dread at the party, where it's just like, hey, I'm starting a Spotify jam, put stuff in. I'm just like, well, here I go. It's all fucking Japanese music. But like, I always try to like put in stuff that like, even though it's like anime related, it's stuff that like normies, regular people can enjoy. But yeah, I don't know. JoJo's has been one of the shows though. Just the music across the board has been just all bangers. You know, some of my new favorite like character themes and like openings and stuff has come from JoJo's. And yeah, I've loved it for that at the very least. Yeah. Like even like the biggest one, you know, like I obviously knew going into JoJo's that the ending song is Roundabout, you know, to be continued meme. Which I still miss. I kind of wish that they would bring it back. Like I get it though, like it works for like the first two parts. I don't know, I just kind of wish they'd pay homage to it a little bit sometimes. But I mean, Roundabout is just a song that I've loved forever. Like even, I mean, it did kind of spurn because of the because of the JoJo memes and stuff, but now it's one where it's just like, oh, so much more meaning to me now. I mean, same with, you know, Walk Like an Egyptian, Last Train Home. The other songs that I haven't really listened to. I mean, that's a big one. Like when I do my Music Enthusiast Reacts to stuff, it's like when I do the endings, because the openings are ones where it's just like I've definitely watched them a lot, but like the ending visuals, I haven't really seen a lot of them yet, and I haven't really listened to the TV versions of those songs yet. But yeah, other than that though, like so far, like there hasn't been one character theme that I haven't liked. I mean, I will say like Joseph's theme in part 2 I can't say was that memorable. Like there were parts of it obviously that I do remember when it played, but I'd say his is my least favorite JoJo theme so far. Just because it's a little too like, what's the term? Like synthy. Full interventions is the openings, yeah. Do you sometimes skip the openings? I don't. Well, like, cause if you see in the videos, like, you know, I have my segment where I like dance to the opening and like on the drop segment. So like, if there's time, like I do try to like listen to like the majority of it, but you know, because of time and whatnot, I'm always, you know, just trying to like get to the episode itself, just because obviously I also want to watch it. But whenever I do like my first episode of the day of my like batch of 3 that I record, I always like listen to it all the way through, just because it's like, yeah, let's do it. But there has been some cases, mainly in part 4 and part 3 too, to an extent, where it's just like, wasn't the biggest fan of this opening, so I kind of skip them. But you know, obviously though, for like the last time it plays, I always watch it just because, you know, for JoJo's, you know, it does the thing where it's like the sound effects and all that, you know, like it's really cool. Favorite one still was for the end of part 3 with Dio fucking invading the opening. That was so sick. Which, to be fair, the song is called End of the World, so of course he does it. I do like, though, that in Great Days, there was the couple episodes where, like, was backwards. Not the song, but, like, the visuals were, like, in reverse. Which is cool. Which made sense, because that's when Bites the Dust was happening. So... I will say though, in part 4 I missed the 3D stuff that they did for parts 1 to 3. You know, I was really missing that. Just because I think it's so cool. It's just a cool style. Like the opening visuals were still cool. I just, you know, it just felt more like typical anime opening for stuff. Yes. Yes it is. So is Sheer Heart Attack and so is Killer Queen. I did predict Sheer Heart Attack as well. You'll see it in that episode. Like because when he first, because like the episode ends like when Kira first unveils Killer Queen, like, this is my stand, Killer Queen. So like in the discussion part, I'm just like, okay, what is its ability gonna be? It's Killer Queen. It's by the band Queen. They're British. That song first debuted in the album Sheer Heart Attack, and I was like, it might be that, and well, lo and behold, it was. Did not predict the Bites the Dust thing, though. Yeah. I have been told. I mean, it's been a fuck ton of musical references all the way through. Like, since part 1, it's become more and more prevalent as it's gone on. But but yeah, I keep losing my train of thought with what I was talking about, but that's why we do this. What about video games? You mean like some of the JoJo video games? Or what do you play? Well, funny enough, we talked about this earlier. I'm not much of a gamer in my spare time, just mainly because my spare time consists of editing these videos. But whenever I do play, which is mainly with like my friends on some game nights, we play like Helldivers, the finals, which is like a team like shooter, kind of like Apex Legends esque, but not battle royale, just kind of like COD Overwatchy, but more fast paced, and I like it more than those games. But in terms of just what I play on my own, I mainly play Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, which is a online version of the card game Yu-Gi-Oh! Though I also play actual Yu-Gi-Oh! From time to time at my local card shop. But that's really the only game that I consistently play on like a daily basis, just because I get like login bonuses for stuff. Other than that, never heard of them. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, Helldivers is just like a fucking, why am I blanking on the term? Horde shooter. It's a horde shooter. It's just like some funny memes with that game. But I mean, you watch sports? Hell no. Again, the most sports, it's not sports, but just I watch like competitive Yu-Gi-Oh stuff here and there. But you know, I don't, if sports are ever on and I am there, it is because someone invited me and it just so happens to be on. I don't care about the game itself. Despite being a red-blooded American, I don't give a shit about football. The most stuff I've ever taken an interest in has been actual football, like soccer, like football. I watch some stuff here and there. A lot of my friends really tried to get me into baseball as a kid. I had a phase where I kind of liked it, but not really. I don't care. You're American from where? The lovely, beautiful state of California. Which I say through gritted teeth, but, you know, it's a... You know, I feel like you always get that. People are just like, oh, California is so beautiful. Yeah, don't live here. Just don't come here. Now, you know, the parts of California that are nice are nice. It's just, you know, the parts that are made to look nice. But that's a different conversation. No need to be all cynical. Yeah, sports have never been my thing. I never really did any sport. I never did any sports in, like, school or anything. I was a theater kid, if you couldn't tell. So, you know, that's a lot of what I did. No LeBron. I have appreciation for the GOATs, you know. LeBron, Jordan, Kobe, rest in peace. I have fun watching other people watch basketball more so than me myself watching basketball. I guess that's where my love for like doing reactions came from, I guess. Just like watching other people watch stuff and experience it because it's funny. I fucked up some badminton as a kid, though. As a kid. Doubt I could do it now. Definitely couldn't. It's probably one of the whitest things I've ever said. But, yeah. Again, just like where I find myself now is just like doing YouTube. Which, I mean, since I was a kid, that's just always what I've been interested in. But I never would have guessed that this is what I'd be doing, though. It's like doing reaction videos. But I mean, it was just a case where just like, I love watching anime, and well, I don't really know what to do for content. There you go. Patreon's going good. It's all right. It's here and there. It's always, I always notice a spike whenever we start a new show, obviously. Which thankfully, like since JoJo started, I've seen a good spike in more people joining it. Which obviously, as we go further and further into JoJo's, I'm sure more and more people will go further ahead. But like, it sucks because I would like to provide more to like the Patreon and stuff, and just in general, just because, you know, I would like to do. I mean, I definitely could do multiple shows at a time, but just how my fucking brain works is just because like I can't finish a show. Like, I can't move on to the next show until I finish the show I'm currently on. And it would be nice if I had an editor. It would be so nice, because then that would open up so much more time. Because that way I could just like not just do 3 episodes a day. I could do more, and also I could do other shows and just have those come out whenever. But, you know, again, like once I finish part 5 of JoJo, I'm gonna take a break for a little bit, do some other shows, just because again October's coming around and I plan to do a couple more like spookier shows, and a couple other just videos. So is there a Discord? There is. I made one a long time ago, but I haven't like I need to put it in like the description of stuff. It's not like a community or anything on it. There's not really anyone on it. I should really get on that. I'm Italian. Hey, gabagoo. I'm sorry. No, it's all good. Honestly, you'd be surprised how many people, like, I see in the comments and just in the channel in general, who like aren't, like, English isn't their first language. It's just like, no, that's cool. Like, despite me being an entirely English-speaking channel, you know, I'm amazed, like, how many people still find me, even though, again, like, I only speak English. I get that YouTube's doing, like, that auto-dubbing thing now, which, don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I could opt out of it, but I'm just like, if people use it, whatever. Gatekeeping the Discord, I mean... Hold on. I'm trying to switch to it. Hold on. Or I guess I'll just pull it up. Hold on. Did that just say assholes? Eitschels. Close. I pull up the Discord that opened on the second monitor. Basically Italian. I mean, hey. If it makes you feel any better, don't know why I would. I'm only 75% white. My other 25% is Filipino. I always search for new JoJo reactors on YouTube. It's always, yeah. No, I mean, yeah, that's why I do. That's why, again, going back to the whole, like, how I started this channel. Like, it sucks because I had a period in time, mainly during, like, quarantine and stuff, where I was watching a lot of, like, the shows and stuff of anime, just because it's like, you know, I'm an anime fan, but I haven't watched a lot of the big shows, so I'm gonna watch them. Yeah. And hey, my Attack on Titan playlist is on the channel, and, you know, we're still going through JoJo's right now. But, you know, once I started doing YouTube and all this stuff, and once I started doing reaction stuff, I was just like, okay, I gotta start thinking about, like, what shows do I want to watch? Because when I first started, it was mainly doing stuff that was, like, coming out week to week. Like, because my first proper series I ever did was To Date Alive Season 4, which, you know, that came out fucking, like, 3 years ago at this point. Which, you know, that felt comfortable at the time, because that at least was just like, okay, I'm only doing stuff on, like, a week to week basis that gives me just time. And then, like, there was a period of time when it was like I was doing My Hero Academia Season 6, Mob Psycho, and Chainsaw Man as it was all coming out week to week. So I was like, okay, that at least got me used to doing multiple reactions at a time. And then I don't remember what, and I think my first rewatch of Fate Zero was the first thing I did, in which was like a show that was completely out, and I was like, all right, let's just go through it. And then I did that, and then I did Freyrin, and then I did ReZero, Mushoku Tensei, and we went on. Actually, let's see if I could do it off the top of my head. The terms of like big shows we started doing, we started with, well, I first did a rewatch of Fate Zero, then we did Freyrin, though that ended up being a week-to-week show as well, but like most of it was out by the time I started watching it. Then we did ReZero, the first 2 seasons of that. Then we did Mushoku Tensei. Of course, there's some smaller ones that I'm forgetting, but they're in there. But in terms of like the longer shows, we did Mushoku Tensei, the first 2 seasons of that too. And then I think it was after that I did my Date Alive rewatch, where I did seasons 1 to 4, and then also was watching season 5 week to week. And then after that, or was that before Mushoku Tensei? It was around that time. And then we did Attack on Titan. Then we did Attack on Titan. Then we did Higurashi. And then we did Hunter x Hunter? No, Darling in the Franxx we did after that. Darling in the Franxx, and then Hunter x Hunter, I'm pretty sure. Then Hunter x Hunter. Then we did Orb. And then I rewatched Fate Zero again. And now we're doing JoJo's. And again, there's a lot of other like smaller shows I did in between that. Never watched Fate. Yeah, the name Lancer comes from Fate. Fate, which Fate Zero, I have got a poster of it back here, and also this cross. Not the Attack on Titan thing, but this cross is from Fate. Fate Zero specifically. Fate Zero is my favorite show of all time, period. But it comes from the larger world and series that is Fate, which was originally the Fate Stay Night visual novel, which came out in 2004, which Fate Zero is the prequel to that, which was made later. But I guess to try and sell you on Fate, it's basically, it's a battle royale between mages in which they summon heroic figures from across history. Such examples being King Arthur, Alexander the Great, Gilgamesh, Hercules, you know, famous heroic figures like that, and they all fight each other to the death to win the Holy Grail, in which when they do it and they're the last one standing, they get a wish from it. That is the broad explanation of it. Sounds simple enough, but Fate is one of the most complex but also rich worlds I've ever had the pleasure of experiencing. It is very hard to dip your toes into, I must say. It's one where it's just, you just gotta start it and figure it out from there. You'll hear 1,000 different people, 1,000 different Fate fans will give you different answers on where to start and what to start with exactly. I will always say, till the end of time, much to many other Fate fans' dismay, watch Fate Zero, and you can decide from that point if you want to watch more of Fate. Just because for me, Fate Zero just falls in line with shows like Attack on Titan, Code Geass, Death Note, just those like dark, gritty shows, even though I watched this show before I watched any of those. Well, not Death Note. I watched Death Note first. Yeah. I mean, the show itself is called Fate, and it plays with that idea of just like destiny and just one's fate and just one's purpose in the world and one's ideals. It's not a background show, I will say. It's one where you have to be paying attention. And that's why I always find it iffy. Though Fate Zero is my favorite show, it is kind of hard to start the Fate journey with that show, just because, like, though it introduces you to the world fairly well, it does sort of operate assuming that you have an idea of what it's about. But at the same time, I think it does do a fair enough job. It just does kind of overload you with information, but you can figure it out steadily. I mean, if you're open to it, it's, for me, it is probably my favorite English dub of all time. Though you could still watch it in Japanese and enjoy it. It's just, for me, whenever I show it to people or tell people to watch it, I'm like, please watch it in the English dub. Just because again, it's different if you speak English. But if not, obviously, don't do that. But just because it's one thing when, like, it's in Japanese and you're reading the information, because I feel like that'll be harder to take in. But if you watch it in English and you understand English, I feel like it'll be easier to digest. But that's just that. That's why, like, every person I've shown Fate Zero to, I've always been like, I'm going to watch it with you, because you need someone to hold your hand, because there will be questions. And it's also just because I love rewatching the show. I've rewatched it probably like up to 10 times at this point. It's also just one of those shows that, like, depending on what kind of person you are, you'll look at different parts of it differently. You know, it's a very ideological, like, strong show with amazing characters, and it's I wouldn't necessarily compare it to JoJo's, but it does have some similar ideas. I would definitely say Fate Zero is more dark, but you know, it's not worth comparing those two. Though it is funny with Fate Zero and JoJo's, because I'm currently watching JoJo's, which is my best friend's favorite show, and I recently went through with him Fate Zero, which is my favorite show. So it's kind of funny that we currently are able to talk about both of our favorite shows at the same time. No, yeah, JoJo for reference, yeah. It's no, just because, like, every time I watch it with anybody, I'm always just like, you are fully welcome to pause the show and ask me questions. In fact, I want you to do that, because for one, I love talking about the show. Though it is obviously hard, just because I try to talk about it obviously as information is revealed in the plot, obviously, because I don't want to spoil things. But it's just one of those shows that invites amazing conversations, and I've had so many great ones. But who is your favorite voice actor? Well, speaking of which, I would say my favorite voice actor is he's an English dub performer. His name is Crispin Freeman. Yeah. His name is Crispin Freeman. He really he's a voice actor who I really noticed him in the show Fate Zero. He plays a character named Kirei in that. And other roles he's played, he plays Alucard in the Hellsing anime, in the English dub of that. I forget the character's name, but he plays the main dude character in Haruhi Suzumiya. He plays Orange Boy in Code Geass as well. He's also Winston in Overwatch as well, a big gorilla. But he is my favorite voice actor, just because he just has such a sexy voice, and just, it's not even just like, he's one of those voices that you can recognize, but also, like, he has such a range as well. You know, like, every time I hear him, I'm just like, oh, thank you. But yeah, my love for him really started with when I watched Fate and just the character he plays in that. Because I would still say that's my favorite performance of his, is the character he plays in Fate Zero. Though he's played a lot of incredible characters that I've loved hearing. But I actually don't know if he's played anyone in JoJo's. I wouldn't be surprised. But second favorite, though, has to be Matt Mercer, who also in the dub of Fate Zero, he plays the main character, Kiritsugu. And speaking of JoJo's, Matt Mercer is the voice of Jotaro in the English dub of JoJo's, which is funny to hear. And of course, he plays like a lot of other characters. My favorite voice actor, Crispin Freeman. Crispin, like literally how it sounds. Crispin Freeman. Yuki Kaji, that... I'm trying to think of my favorite Japanese voice actor. Yuki Kaji is definitely up there. Honestly, I'd say my favorite Japanese voice actor is probably Daisuke Ono, who is the voice of Jotaro, the voice of Erwin Smith, and a plethora of other characters, but those two characters are the ones that are just like, yeah, I love this voice actor. Second favorite voice actor in Japanese. I need to learn his name. Dios Villa, yeah. I don't know what his name is, but you know, yeah, Dios. Every time I hear his voice in anything I watch, I always say Kono Dio da, which now, having seen Dio, actually means something to me. But you know, like, I think in like every show I've watched on the channel, or at least most of them, there's been a character voiced by him. But another favorite voice actor is, I can't remember his name, but he voices character, like in JoJo's, it's a Wamu's voice actor. Because he voices characters like Thorkel in Vinland Saga, All for One in My Hero Academia. Yeah, Zeke as well, yeah, and that. Well, I haven't seen that yet, and well, I mean, I'm not gonna watch it in English anyway, but that's interesting to know. The JoJo dub is interesting to me because, like, if it wasn't JoJo's, it would be a phenomenal dub. Like I still think it's a good dub. It's just, compared to the Japanese, like, you can't compare it. It's the Japanese voice actors are too good at their job. This is, and like, I always say this every time about JoJo's voice acting. It's just like, it's so theatrical, you know? It's like, it's unlike any voice acting I've heard really in any other anime. Like, the closest thing to that is like maybe Attack on Titan's voice acting. But that's more like, you feel with Attack on Titan's voice acting, it's like you feel the fear of the characters through the voice acting. But like the stuff I've watched of like the JoJo dub, it's like the voice actors they have for that are good voice actors. Like, again, Matt Mercer, you know, being Jotaro's voice actor, Johnny Young Bosch as Jonathan, Patrick Seitz as Dio. Like, they're good voices. Like, I don't want anyone to get it twisted. Like, those voices, like, they sound good. It's just, you can't compare them. It's impossible. Like, that's why I would love to see someone going through JoJo's in the English dub and see how they feel about it. Just because, like, it just, there's so many parts of it that just don't work in English. Like, because the whole bit of, like, you know, Joseph's English, you know, oh my god, like, that doesn't work in English because he's speaking English the whole time. And even like the Aura Auras and the Muda Mudas, it's like, though they still do that in English, it just sounds goofy. Um, and obviously, like, you know, you have like the stand names, like hearing, like, though Patrick Seitz, the English voice of Dio, does, I still think, a phenomenal job as Dio. It's just, you cannot have that performance next to the performance of the Japanese one and be like, yeah, this does it justice, because it doesn't. Yeah. It just, it's one though where you look at it, it's just like, it makes, you figured it would make more sense, or at least like it would be better in English, just because a lot of the characters would be speaking English, especially in part 1 and even part 2, because it's like they're in England. I will give it this though, Bryce Papenbrook, who is the English voice of Caesar in part 2, I think does a good job. Like, I can't speak on whether or not he does an authentic Italian accent. My Italians in the chat can tell me otherwise. But yeah. It's just, but I think he does a good job, just because, like, it took me a couple times listening to Caesar speak in the English where I was just like, oh my god, that is Bryce Papenbrook. I could not tell. That is talent. Like, a lot of the stuff can be kind of goofy when you watch in English, because, you know, like, Joseph and Jonathan and Dio all have, like, British accents in the English dub, which, to be fair, makes sense, because, again, they're English. They should have accents. But again, the Japanese voices are so much better. Yeah, I don't know. I love, I'm always one of those people, just like, I see people being just like, dubs are so bad, stop. Like, people need to stop watching dubs. Just like, you need to stop telling people to do. Like, there are some phenomenal English dubs out there, you know, that people need to give more credit for, you know. Like, because I look at these anime elitist fans who definitely aren't Japanese being like, oh my god, you watch it in English, you absolute normie pleb. And it's like, I guarantee the first animes you watched were all in English. Because that's how it goes normally. Is like, especially if you're getting into anime, you usually watch it, especially if you're not used to watching shows with subtitles. You know, you're gonna watch a show in your native language, so you get used to that, and then, you know, eventually you'll watch it in Japanese, you know. My balance with it right now is like, if I'm getting into a show, mainly if it's a show that like has already come out, or like it's come out a while ago, I'll look at like the cast list for the characters and be like, are there any voice actors I recognize? And if not, then I won't. I'll watch it in Japanese. But if there is, then I'll give it a shot. And if it's cringe, then I'll switch. But I have discovered some amazing English dubs doing that. You know, a lot of shows that I feel like people will probably give me shit for watching in English, but, you know, I love it. I just have appreciation for incredible voice acting. No, yeah. I mean, there is no world in which there is a better dub of JoJo than the Japanese. You know, just because I don't know what it is with the voice actor. Just like, oh, we're doing JoJo's, I'm going to give my 120% to this role. And I respect it, because there's not like one voice that I can think of in which I was just like, that could have been better. It's like every single one of them is always just like, that's a performance. Just because, again, it feels just so theatrical. I think it's just because, like, JoJo's itself is so over the top already. So, like, you have to voice act to a point to which it's believable. Or not necessarily believable, where it's just like you're matching the tone of it. And it's just like, yeah, people, they just say this. But yeah, it's a yeah, the video games. I've tried to avoid like looking at stuff of the video games. Like every once in a while, I get some funny like clips of like the games, but obviously I try to avoid them just because it's gonna show characters that I haven't seen yet and powers. So I can't wait till I finally get caught up with like part 6, and then it's like, all right, give me all the JoJo's anime content, so that way I can just finally just bum rush through it. Though I'll still have to tread lightly, obviously, just because there's JoJo stuff that I haven't seen yet. And hell, there's JoJo stuff that I won't ever see probably for many more years with like part 8 and 9. Yeah. Are you a manga reader? Occasionally. I have some stuff I dabble into. I'll be honest, a lot of what I read is romance manga more than anything, just because for some reason every time a romance show ends, I'm just like, you can't catch my intrigue and my heart and then leave me. I must see more. There hasn't really been a lot of like manga stuff that I've read other than romance stuff. A lot of it's just, I pick up where an anime's left off. But I'm trying to think. I mean, I read the Dragon Ball Super manga whenever that decides to come off of hiatus. Yeah, I did read Tokyo Ghoul. That's like the only... Yo, Super... That's a good one. That's a good one. I got that one. Yeah, like, Tokyo Ghoul is like the only shonen manga I've really read, other than like Dragon Ball, obviously. What about movies, though? Like, just in general, movies? My favorite movie, well, growing up, my family, it's a joke that our second religion is Star Wars, which as I've grown older, now you can understand JoJo memes. Yeah, that's been the fun part. Yeah, not all of them obviously, but a lot of the Dio memes, are funnier to me now, though some of them aren't funny to me anymore just because I have the context. But yeah, movies, yeah, I mean, Star Wars, when it was good, it was good. My favorite movie still is Jurassic Park. Just as a kid, and then as an adult. I mean, it's kind of a joke with Jurassic Park, like me and my friend, just because, like, it was a joke for a while, like me and my good friend, the same friend who, is the JoJo fan. Like, anytime we were in a hotel together, it was always just like, all right, we're watching Jurassic Park. Just because why not? But... Is it JoJo reference? Is it? If it is, then I haven't seen it yet. And I don't know. Though, I wouldn't be surprised. You know what? Honestly, it would not surprise me if Steven Spielberg or Michael Crichton were JoJo fans. Have you seen the Dragon Ball movies? Yes. For many, many years, Dragon Ball Z not only was my favorite anime of all time, but also was the only anime I had ever seen. It was one of the shows I grew up on that my brother made me watch. It was Dragon Ball, Star Wars, and Yu-Gi-Oh! For a little bit that my brother made me watch. And Dragon Ball was just the one that stuck with me for the longest. But yeah, I've seen all the old movies. I've seen the new movies. Every time there is a new movie, I always go and see it in theaters whenever I can. I've seen every show. Yeah. Like, I still love Dragon Ball. It's still my core. but I wouldn't be where I am with anime today if I hadn't, you know, if my brother hadn't shown me Dragon Ball way back when. But you know, it's one of those ones where it's like I look at it now and I'm just like, you know, it's not the greatest thing that people may think it is. You know, the Dragon Ball fanboys out there that will power scale Goku against every character. The SS thing. They know they power scale Goku against every character that's slightly powerful, and it's just like, bro, like Dragon Ball's cool, it's fun, you know, it has hype moments and literal aura. But you know, I sit here now all this time later, and it's just like, it's not the greatest thing that was ever made. Like, you know, is it one of the most influential things in the anime manga sphere? Yes, that and JoJo's obviously. But you know, like, I'll still always respect it. My favorite Super Saiyan, like, form, I've always been a fan of Super Saiyan 2 just because I like lightning and stuff, you know. I just like the way it looks. Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan God, just because I like red, like the color red. Also, the form in the show itself was one of the cooler ones, I feel like, that made sense from a plot standpoint. Yeah. Has to be a masterpiece. I mean, yeah. I mean, I obviously look at Dragon Ball different than a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people here, especially in like the West, you know, it's Dragon Ball Z, and you know, like when it originally aired on like Toonami and stuff like that. You know, though that was a little before my time, you know, we had it on DVD and stuff, and my brother always showed it to me, so like I saw like the original like English dub of that. But yeah, Daima, I gave Daima its chance several times. It never stuck for me. Like, look, it was Toriyama's like last work, and I appreciate it for that, and I appreciate it for some of the stuff it did, but it just did not interest me. Like, when the trailers for that first came out, I'm 23. Believe it or not. When the trailers for Daima came out, like, you know, you can look at the video on my channel. It's kind of funny to look back on, just because I was so just like, this looks like dog shit. And you know, time went on. Toriyama sadly passed, and I was just like, you know what? I'll give it a chance. There's a couple. I think I watched the first 3 episodes on my channel as they came out week to week, and I was like, you know what? Okay. But then, you know, the episodes kept going on, and I was just like, this is nothing. Like, sure, it takes you back to like that classic Dragon Ball feel. It just felt like they tried to do GT again, but tried to do it better. And I'm just like, I don't know, it kind of runs into the same problems. But people aren't complaining about it as much as GT or even Super because it looks better, and that's the only reason. At the end of the day, you want to appease Dragon Ball fans, just make a well-animated fight scene in a new Super Saiyan form, and their monkey brains will go crazy, and they'll just put aside everything else. And I'm just like, as someone who's grown to appreciate, you know, writing and characters, I'm just like, I need more than just ooga booga fights. So, yeah. Yeah, GT was even as a kid, I never got into GT that much. I still to this day have never watched it from start to finish. The most I've made it is like 2 or 3 episodes. Like, I know the story of it, like I know the big plot points, but like I've never committed to watching it just because it's weird. True. Yeah, I mean, it's still Dragon Ball at the end of the day. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and be like it's terrible. It's just, it's not me. It's not what I care for anymore, really. Like, it's kind of funny. I try to think about it with myself now. It's just like, if I had never watched Dragon Ball growing up, but I still, like, went on the journey of anime that I have, if I watched Dragon Ball Z today, would I like it? And I venture to say maybe not. I don't know, just because, like, I rewatched, like, Dragon Ball Z, like, the original Dragon Ball Z, not, like, you know, Kai or any of the edited stuff, like, the original one. And, like, I still enjoy the fuck out of it. Like, I still have, like, every once in a while, pretty years. Dime episode 19 broke the internet, yeah. Yeah, just like Demon Slayer episode 19 broke the internet. But that's a different conversation. I remember that came out on Valentine's Day. I remember I woke up and, like, you know, stumbling out of bed and, like, opening, like, Twitter and just seeing that all over my timeline. I'm just like, all right, cool. Some new AI fan art someone's made. And it's just like, nope, it's real. And, well, yeah, I have my own. I made a video that did fairly well where I called about, where it's titled, So Super Saiyan 4 is back, I guess. And the title is, and the thumbnail is Super Saiyan 4 Daima Goku, and it says, like, what is this thing? Where I went into detail talking about, like, the Super Saiyan 4 transformation in that. Yeah. It's just, my biggest thing with Daima is just, like, you can't establish this new canon with Super and then just be like, all right, now we're gonna just, like, retcon a lot of stuff. Because though the word canon has lost a lot of meaning to me, both between that and Star Wars, you know, it's still just like, if you're gonna have an established thing, work with it. Don't mess stuff up. Which is why whatever they decide to do with Daima going forward, whether they do a season 2 of it, or, you know, if Toyotaro decides to do a manga version of it like he did with Superhero, then I guess we'll see. Yeah, I know he said that. And yeah, it's one of those ones where it's just like, he says that, but he doesn't know what that means. Because, oh, so everything's canon. So Xenoverse is canon. So Super Dragon Ball Heroes is canon. So GT and Daima at the same time are canon. So they just don't care. Yeah, which, to be fair, I'm at that point too. Like, whatever the newest Dragon Ball thing is, I'll always be there at least to see the mudslide that it ends up being. Honestly, at this point, they should just do Dragon Ball AF, because Toyotaro's at the helm. Fuck it, man. Do your Super Saiyan 5. Who gives a fuck at this point? Do Super Saiyan 5. Do, what is it, Zerkor, or whatever that fuck that thing was. Yeah. Whatever. I'm just kind of waiting to see what the next movie is going to be, because I swear for a while they were talking about just like, oh yeah, every couple of years there's going to be a Dragon Ball movie. And, well, it's been 3 years since Superhero came out. And, well, we have not had any news of a new movie. Not that I've been privy to, at least. I swear, if they count the movie release that they did for the first 3 episodes of Daima, that's gonna be some bullshit. Yeah, I mean, I get that it is complicated now because Toriyama's passed. Because that's why the Super manga hasn't picked up yet in a while. Like, I get it. Like, it's hard to continue at this point, you know. Like, even with Toyotaro at the helm, you know, it's, you know, without Toriyama, it's gonna be rough. Like, to be fair, Dragon Ball still sells, though. It sells. Like, it's still, like, competing with One Piece and all that stuff, even though, like, no new chapter has come out for, like, several months at this point. Yeah, it's sad. I mean, I just feel like they have stuff to work with. Like, fucking animate the Moro and Granola arcs. Like, goddamn. I don't get why they don't just do that. Like, you have two fully, like, done arcs that, in my opinion, are pretty sick. Just do those. Like, they're not, like, super long arcs. But, like, you could get, like, a good, like, 24 to 40 episode show out of it. Probably not even that long. Probably like 20 to 30 episodes. Like, as long as Daima was, at least. And people will go crazy. Like, people have been clamoring for Ultra Ego to be animated for so long at this point. Dog shit. Like, what? Like, as a Unga Bunga Dragon Ball fan, it scratches all the itches. You know? Do it. Like, that is truly shit that will break the internet. It's just because at this point, people have been waiting for it for so long. Especially with how, like, well animated and drawn Daima was. It's like, if you put that quality on Super, you know? It'll go crazy. It'll be like when Ultra Instinct happened all over again. Like, it truly will break the internet. But again, I get it. Stuff is complicated right now. I'm just saying, like, within the next couple years, if they're for some reason, like, we have no idea where to take the franchise, it's like, you at least have something. You don't have nothing. But, yeah, it's a lot. Okay. I'm not gonna go offline. I do have to go for a moment. I'll be right back in a second. I just have to go do something real quick. I will be right back. Okay, we're back. Anyway. Dissociate my corporeal form. True. We probably won't be on for too much longer. Or I don't know. It's only 7 o'clock for me. It's not the... But yeah. It's 4 a.m. little pro. Gotta clock out. Ugh. Yeah. It's the Gyarados with like that Japanese wave painting. I got this from the first ever like anime convention I went to. I was just like, yo, that's sick. So yeah, got it. Favorite Pokemon? This exact Gyarados, mainly because of this poster. I've never really been a Pokemon guy. Like I played Pokemon Go for a while. But 00 a.m. Nice. I played Pokemon Go for a while, and I played a little bit of Pokemon on the Game Boy. Like, you know, Pokemon was something my brother tried to get me into, but I never really got into it. He's a big Pokemon guy, though. Like, I like Pokemon from a distance, you know? Like, I like seeing, like, certain arts and, like, you know, whatever the new Pokemon game is, and it's cool, but, you know, this is about the extension of my love for Pokemon is this one poster. So anytime someone's just like, what's your favorite Pokemon? I'm just like, the shiny Gyarados. The red one. But like, I've seen a couple episodes of like the original Pokemon here and there, but it's just, you know, it's not exactly something I'm gonna watch now. I've already got my my card game of choice, that being Yu-Gi-Oh! So I'm not exactly looking at, even though Pokemon cards are much more valuable. Like 10 years ago. I mean, that's kind of... I've always looked at it with Pokemon games, just like, how do you make them better? Like, I feel like the only thing you can do is make them look better, because, like, what's the gameplay? It's just like, Pikachu, go. Squirtle, go. You know, it's just like the Pokemon fight each other and there's like cool cinematics or whatever, but then I was just like the rock, paper, scissors of using this move or this move or this move. Oh, shoot. Forgot about the train. I mean, it's all turn-based anyway. Just like, I do one attack. And so do you. Speaking of which, my locals is doing a Pokemon tournament. Except I do not care. It's kind of MOBA. Interesting. Minecraft Pokemon Mod Showcase. Ah, yes. The true path a YouTuber must take when faced with success. The Minecrafter route or the failed rapper route. There's only two paths. Groom miners or make shitty music. Or in some cases, both. Shout out to Dream. there's so many memes with my friends where just like, if I ever make a Minecraft like video of any kind, you are free to hit me with the groomer allegations. It's so Jover from that point on. It's so Jover. You have a good night, my friend. See you in the JoJo comment sections. But yeah. I will probably start wrapping up myself. But not immediately, obviously. I'm gonna chill for a little while, because again, for me it's only 7 o'clock, 7:30, so... Is anybody online right now? They better not be. Okay, good. I hate when I've been like online for a while and then I haven't checked Discord and they're just like, you have been pinged like 7,000 times. Join the call. You like Minecraft? I mean, I had my Minecraft phase as a kid, definitely. Like, I still like that. Like, I have the game. You know, I play it from time to time. It's a fun game. It's just, it's been stoked in so much just controversy and grooming and like all... I mean, that's the people who play the game, not... Like, hate the player, not the game. It's just... It has a bad connotation with it now, but, you know, it's still a really fun game, you know? It's so chill. Like, that's one of my chill games. I'm just like, I don't feel like playing a horde shooter. I don't feel like playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Again. Minecraft, so I could just, like, run around, just, like, do stuff. Just because my thing is, like, I just like going on the adventure. You know, it's like, I don't do the whole thing of like, alright, craft stuff, fight the Ender Dragon. You know, I kind of just like spend like an hour or two just like running around collecting stuff. And it's like, by the time I'm like going to the Nether, that's when I'm just like, alright, I'm done with this world. It's run its course. I normally like kind of get to the point where it's like, alright, I have enough blaze rods and ender pearls to like make enough Eyes of Ender to go to the end, but then it's just like from that point on, I'm just like, whatever. Do you add mods? I've always wanted to play mods. I never have though. Just because I never could figure out like how to do it. Like, I know it's pretty easy. Like, pretty much everybody plays it with mods, even on like console. But I don't know. I just run into that kind of thing where just like, if it's taking too long or just I can't do it right, I just don't bother, because I never play it that long anyway. You know, it's like I only like play it for like a couple hours at most, and then I'm just like, I'm done. So vanilla's enough for me. Like, the most I would ever really add to the game is like maybe some shaders or just like some lighting updates, but I wouldn't add any, like, you know, not doing like texture packs or like, you know, adding creatures or stuff. Though some of that stuff is pretty cool. You know, back in the day, I was an avid fan of many a Minecraft YouTuber. Of course, I was in the prime age range for that. But you know, it kind of resurged again, obviously, like during quarantine, just because obviously like no one was going anywhere. It's like, oh yeah, Minecraft nostalgia. So, you know, and of course that's when creators like Dream and all of them took off, and it's just like, well, the cycle repeats itself again. Yeah, at some point I might, but I don't know. It's always there on my computer if I ever decide to play it. Minecraft is one of those games where I always have more fun watching being played rather than playing myself. Yeah. You know, like, there's still some Minecrafters that I watch here and there. Get the train moving. Get out of this fucking industrial complex. Yeah, other than that, though, I mean, I played it. It's funny because I played it mainly on console back in the day, just because I never had a computer until like fairly recently in my life. So, and even then, like once I did, it's so weird just because like I'd always played it on console, so like getting used to mouse and keyboard. But that was just like video games in general. Like for the majority of my life up until like really my 20s, you know, I had played games on console like Call of Duty and all that stuff, Halo. So like switching to mouse and keyboard was a interesting change. And now it's kind of funny because now it's kind of the opposite, where it's like I've been playing on mouse and keyboard for so long that now it's kind of weird to switch back to now it's kind of weird to switch back to controller. Though I have a controller just because you never know when it's that type of game. Man. I have not been paying attention to the music that's been playing this whole time. Oh, it's because this is a 12-hour playlist that's currently activated. Turn it up a little bit. Excuse me. Good God. But yeah, again, like I said before, like once I really finish JoJo's, I'm planning to get more back on the variety side of things. So definitely like playing more games and stuff. Though, again, to be fair, there's not really a whole lot of games that I want to play. Any specific game genre? I mean, I've always been a fan of horde shooters. You know, like I had my era of FPS. You know, like I played Halo and COD, you know, when I was a kid. And obviously, like, I played some Minecraft too, but I don't know, just like nowadays I find my comfort in like horde shooters, like again, like Helldivers, Deep Rock Galactic, Left 4 Dead, you know, Payday 2 specifically, playing bots on Battlefront. You know, it's just because, I don't know, I have more fun just kind of mindlessly just like shooting stuff and like upgrading things, just, you know, doing a task. You know, if I want to, you know, my toxic side will come out though if I play with like my friends and we do like, you know, the finals or Battlefield. It's just like, oh, I gotta actually walk in and do things. But I found more comfort in the single player type stuff, though. Again, you know, when I play with friends, you know, like playing the horde shooter type games is always fun. But yeah, never really been a fighting game type of guy though. Like, you know, I occasionally play like the Mortal Kombat and like the Dragon Ball like fighting games like Xenoverse and Tenkaichi Budokai. But a little bit of Fighters as well, Fighter Z. But was never like a Tekken or a Smash. None of that stuff, or even like any of the other Mortal Kombats other than X. Yeah, of course. I mean, if you look at on my channel, there's the Boys playlist. That's what all that is some videos that have been made in which we played games. Like, you know, we played a couple videos. My favorite ones are still like some of the Left 4 Dead ones, because those are ones where we had like mods and stuff on that. Left 4 Dead, we played through the Halo Reach story, which was really fun. Played some Phasmophobia. The Lethal Company videos were very funny too. But there's also a Helldivers video, which was fun. Yeah, it's just I don't know. I feel like I should always like record or something whenever I'm playing games with them, just because there's some funny shenanigans that always happen. But I don't know. I'm too in the moment with stuff to like think about like, oh, record. But which I guess I could just stream then, which would be funny. But I don't know. I always feel weird just kind of putting them, just kind of on it like that. Like, though they don't care and they just, you know, they have fun regardless. You know, it's different streaming versus actually recording. But I'll try to maybe do that more often though, just to like have it. Though I always get kind of weird though, like trying to talk to chat, like if I'm streaming with them. Though I'm kind of like that in general with my friends, especially if I'm like in person recording a video with them. Because I don't know, I feel like just like some self-conscious thing always just activates, just like, oh, shut up, bro. But that's just me. More Amogus. Yeah, that definitely was a phase at some point. Not anymore, though. I mean, Sparking Zero experienced what many a game experiences. It was no exception, where it was hyped to holy hell. But now it's just at a point, I mean, a lot of it comes from just like the streamers and the content creators. It's like the game came out, they milked it for all it was worth for the first month or so, and now, you know, who cares? Because plus, like, Sparking Zero, much like with every other fighting game, it's like the meta has been established with it. And now people are going to pick, you know, the characters. They're going to fight and do certain things in a certain way. Dude, where's the countryside? Get out of the industrial. Fuck it, we gotta find a new one. Fuck it, this one. So like, a lot of the hypes just kind of just died down. I mean, the same thing happened with like, well, I guess not really, but yeah, it's, I mean, that's just happening a lot though with like big multiplayer games now, is just, you know, like the streamers and whatnot play it for a while, but then the minute they stop, it's like, who cares anymore? You know, like the game's run its course, you know, there's only so much you can do with like picking a character, fighting somebody, beating them up, and then next thing, it's like, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if like the fighting game genre is like steadily like, I mean, it is, I would say, steadily dying, just because yeah, I mean, I feel like that is a lot of it with Sparking Zero though, is just because like the big thing with it is like, it's finally happening, Budokai Tenkaichi 4, and well, and like the game looks stunning, and like it's definitely probably the best looking Dragon Ball game to date, but I don't know, it's just because like I think people just have more nostalgia for the older Tenkaichi games, so they're just like, I don't know, either a part of them just like, it's not the same, or I don't know. Again, I feel like a lot of that just has to do with like streamer culture, where it's just like, oh, my favorite streamer stopped playing this game, that must mean it's dead. So it's just, it's a herd mentality as well, you know? Like if you really look at it, I think a lot of the people like jumped ship from like Fighters to Sparking Zero, but now I think a lot of them are coming back to Fighters because they're just like, well, Sparking Zero ran its course. I mean, the game's not dead, obviously. Like, it still has a loyal fan base. The game's not even a year old yet. But I think it's just because, like, the game had too much hype behind it. Yeah, not made for competitive. I mean, it's not, like, Dragon Ball's never really made a competitive game. I mean, Fighters was, like, the most it ever got in terms of, like, proper competitive. Just because it kind of falls in that same vein as like Tekken and Mortal Kombat, whereas this is like, it wouldn't work on like a competitive scene. Like there's obviously like ranked matches and stuff like that, but you know, like it's not gonna like fully die out, obviously, but I don't know. I just feel like Dragon Ball games in general can only do so much with it. It's just like, oh, it's another either just online fighting game that has a little bit of a story mode, or it's another Dragon Ball game in which it's a story mode, but it's only gonna be like Dragon Ball Z with Dragon Ball Super DLCs. But yeah, it's I mean, that's a whole different issue, which, I mean, you know, the last, like, proper Dragon Ball game I really played was Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, which even that's a game that still has, I mean, not a lot of people play it anymore, but, like, there's still a decent fan base behind it. And that game's been out for damn near 10 years. And there's people still waiting for Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3, which I feel like is more than warranted at this point, though the amount of content that's in Xenoverse 2 basically is a Xenoverse 3. So it's like whatever they do with Xenoverse 3, it would have to be that in addition to whatever DLCs they give it afterwards. So I don't know, like the future of Dragon Ball games is not great, but then again, it's not exactly like anything I care about. Just because, I don't know. I haven't really had any sort of Dragon Ball game that I've cared much for in the last several years. Like, you know, Kakarot was an alright game. But that, again, that was one where it was just story mode, which arguably I would say was, you know, better than a lot of the other Dragon Ball games that have come out, just mainly because, like, it knew what it was doing, what it was going for, and it did it. It committed to it. It's just, I mean, it's a shame now. It's just like the game's over. It had its final DLC, and now it's, you know, there's not gonna be any more of it. But it is what it is. All that aside, there's other games out there. Other fun games. It's just, you know, the gaming industry is in an interesting place right now just because, you know, I think gaming has been more popular than it's ever been. Like, I would say gaming at this point is on par with, like, television and, like, movies and stuff like that. If anything, I would say maybe it's more popular at this point. It's become so much more mainstream. And although it kind of sucks, just because it invites more people and more people are more critical about it, you know, it does invite some more variety, which I feel like is needed, very much is needed. But it's just, you kind of run into now where it's like gaming studios are operating very similar to like movie studios now, where instead of it just being a group of developers just making something out of passion, it's just like, how can we make money off of this? Do we profit? If we don't, then well, yeah. Horror games, yeah, funnily enough, that's become the genre that has become more fun to me. Just because horror games, though there are definitely good horror games are few and far between. What was a game I saw recently that was... Like, I recently, I didn't play it myself, but I watched a playthrough of Silent Hill 2, which was, you know, I know it was, like, one of the most critically acclaimed, like, games ever. But, like, you know, I had never played it or seen anything on it, so it was for the remaster of the Silent Hill 2, and, well, you know, I watched it and I was just like, wow. I mean, I get it. It was a freaky game. It just, like, one of those thought-provoking ones, too. What was the other one I watched? I watched a playthrough of Soma, which wasn't really a horror game. Like, it was creepy. It was just a very, like, existential game. I'm trying to think like what my favorite horror game is. I don't know, like the original FNAF, like Five Nights at Freddy's, is still like one of the most untouched games I feel like in terms of horror and suspension. I would say like the first 4 FNAFs, really. Like some of them are here and there on that. Like after that point, it's kind of just like, okay, we're just kind of, we're going a little crazy with it. Have you tried Outlast? Yeah, I haven't played it for myself, but I think I've seen a playthrough of the first Outlast. Whatever, the one where the guy's just like, "Come here, little piggy." But yeah, Outlast is pretty freaky. Alien Isolation, I would say, is probably my favorite. Not my favorite, but like one of my favorite horror games. Just because that just did the vibe of like Alien so well, and also the horror. Like, though it does hit a point where it's just like you have so much like flamethrower ammo, so it's just like the horror side of it doesn't really matter. But you know, like the early parts of that game are still awesome. And I heard the rumor mill is that they're gonna do a Alien Isolation 2, which would be great. Which it'll be a missed opportunity if they don't call it Aliens Isolation. Though that would mean the game is more action oriented rather than horror, but yeah, they could do it. I don't know. For some reason I'm forgetting of like, I guess Subnautica has parts of a horror game. Outlast, yeah. Subnautica is technically a horror game, yeah. Parts of it definitely. I mean, it has like fucking jump scares in it. That's, though, like my love for Subnautica comes more from just like the ambience and also like the music, the lore of it. It's one of my favorite games ever. But yeah, I mean, like I swear there's like more horror games that I'm like forgetting. But I'd say it's just mainly those ones, like Alien Isolation, Subnautica, Outlast, FNAF. Some good stuff out there. What time is it? It's almost 8 o'clock. You're looking forward to Subnautica 2? Like, the game itself, yes. The controversy and everything surrounding it, and the poor employees that all just got fired and not paid and all this stuff, no. Or, well, it wasn't even just that. It was just like they didn't sell enough of the game, so they got pushed back and all this stuff, and like there wasn't a payout. There's so much happening with that game that's just, it sucks. But so hopefully when the game comes out, it is not a Cyberpunk situation. It's like not fully finished. But because I mean, that'll be a game that I would love to play on the channel, is Subnautica 2, just because Subnautica 1 is, again, one of my favorite games of all time. Not Below Zero though. Below Zero is fun, it just pales in comparison. When they do Subnautica 2, I do like at least that they're doing like a co-op thing, like they're adding that instead of it just being like a janky mod with the first game. I just hope they take notes from what they did with Below Zero and don't have it be a character that can talk. Because that just removes like 90% of the suspense, is if you have your character say some quippy one-liners like they did in Below Zero. It's like, have it be silent protagonists, let the story and the PDA and the world tell itself. But like, of the trailers I've seen for it, it looks interesting. It looks fun. You know, I'm curious to see how they expand on the lore of the game. You know, because like the first game and even Below Zero to an extent does an interesting, establishes the lore in an interesting way. So. But oh yeah, the Soulsborne games. Those aren't technically horror though. You know, I mean, there's scary like imagery and like grotesque stuff, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's horror. The horror side of it is being killed by a boss while it has like this much health left. Yeah, that's what few horror games get right, is like you can have a character, like your main character, speak and still have it be scary. You know, again, case in point, Alien Isolation. But it's just those moments when there is suspense and whatnot, like even removing like them breathing does so much for the horror and the suspense. Especially if it's like a POV, you know, first person game. You know, but if you just have your characters silent from beginning to end, that's perfect. Like Dead Space, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, I'd say Dead Space is a horror game. Like the original Dead Space, not the remake, because like Isaac Clarke in the original Dead Space didn't speak. But in the remake they had him speak, which I feel like it still worked, but you know, like like that's an example where like it can work either way and still be creepy. The Dead Space remake is so good, man. That's a shame with that one, because I would have liked for them to remake both 2 and 3. But sadly they won't, I think, because the remake didn't sell that well. Snowplow. Yeah. I mean, that's another reason why the FNAF games work so well, too. It's like it's first-person point of view, and also your character doesn't speak at all. Like, it's not really until, like, what, Security Breach, where you have a character that talks? Or, well, you have, like, your character that can speak? Because I think that's what few horror games get right, is like you can have like your cheap jump scares and whatnot and your like horror grotesque moments, but if you can't build suspense, then it's like it's not horror, it's just scared. You're just jump scaring people. You know, if I wanted to get jump scared every 5 seconds, I'd go to Halloween Horror Nights at Universal. Yeah. But again, with Alien Isolation, it's one of the ones where, like, in those moments of suspense, the character doesn't speak, you know? So you truly feel isolated. It's not really until, like, the moments with, like, other characters when, like, your character actually speaks to people. But yeah, I would be down to play Alien Isolation at some point in the future for the channel. I'm gonna be eating those words at some point, but I mean, again, I'm not much for playing horror games myself, just because I'm quite a little bitch. But you know, just for the vibes, be fun. Ugh. I don't normally speak this much in my day-to-day and my throat's hurting. It's fine though, I love it. The conversations are great. I was trying to think what I talked about last time. I think Oh yeah, like the last long live stream we had, we just talked about like I went on my anime list and just like started talking about stuff. But I can't really think of any like good horror games that have come out within the last like couple of years. I mean, there's been a lot of remakes of old games, which I don't really count those, but I mean, there's been like the like multiplayer kind of horror games, which I mean, horror like, you know, fucking Lethal Company, Phasmophobia, I guess, which I mean, that's an old game by this point. Play the DLC for the original Outlast. I definitely need to watch like a playthrough of Outlast at some point. I'm due for that. I watched someone play like the first like couple hours of the game, but I've never seen like the whole game. Like the only thing I've done horror wise on the channel has been like I did one Five Nights at Freddy's video like 3 years ago for like my birthday or something. And then I played Subnautica. Which the like second half of that playthrough ended up not being scary just because I I was just trying to get through the game. But yeah. Sorry, I'm just kind of like zoning out. I'm kind of winding down for the night anyway. It's 8 o'clock, which is still relatively early, but you know, I normally wind down by this time anyway. But this will probably be the last stream I have for a while. Last stream I have for a little while, just because, I mean, not my last stream ever, like, let's not get crazy, but just because, you know, my stream, if you look at, like, the streams on my channel, you can see just, like, months in between. But I'm gonna put that up there. Yeah. I always try to like do streams like after I finished a show, or like at least like today, like I finished part 4 of JoJo, so I was just like, fuck it. Play some catch up. Honestly, I probably might not do another stream until after I finish JoJo's entirely. So probably not for like a couple more months, but I'll try to be a little more consistent. I mean, I'm never gonna be consistent with live streaming. Unless we get to the day where we have like several people in chat. Like, but even still, I enjoy these kind of like intimate moments with like, you know, the 1 or 2 people that come in. You know, just like the one-on-one conversations. Yeah. I appreciate it greatly, you know. And some of the most fun stuff is yeah, because, you know, it feels like I'm properly like connecting with the community and like these people who like I see in like the comment section and just like actually getting to speak to them. You know, it makes me realize that what I'm doing, you know, I'm connecting with people. It's fun. So yeah. This'll be it for me for the night. I'm gonna log off for now. I do not know when I will ever be live again. Probably within the next couple months. At least probably 1 or 2 more times before the year's over. I gotta remember it's September, so the year is starting to wrap up, but still a lot more left. So I thank you all for joining me on this. Everyone who came through and talked about stuff has been fun. Good, nearly 3.5 hours. God damn. And well, yeah.